So I decided that because I'm making a little cooking show for people in Burghead about your vegetables in the community garden, that I would have to change my theme song so that it is a special edition of the Christie's Accordion Cooking Show because we're going to use a guitar. So let's see. We're going to do a little new show song. Here we go. Burghead, where the sunsets go on for hours, where people treat you like family, even though you're not Scottish, not even a little bit. I'm coming to you from Ullapool, where the people are all so lovely. Ullapool, where they're as mad as a box of frogs, you'll fit right in. That's what they told me when I said I was moving here, and it's true. I do fit in, and people are very kind here. So anyway, I will give you the amazing recipes for chard today. Hi, so Liz asked me to make a video about how to cook chard, but here's the problem. The problem is that she asked me so long ago that I've already eaten that chard, so I had to get some different chard, and I always get extra chard, and I get it from McLeod Organics because it's yummy, but it's not as good as the chard in the community garden. So what's a really funny thing is that I love this vegetable so much that I get extra of it. But apparently people don't really eat chard, but you guys have it growing, so let's talk about how to do chard. So there's lots of ways to do chard. You can, gosh, I talked to a bunch of people and they said you can make like a white sauce, which I guess in this country is called a bechamel sauce, so we can talk about how to do that. You can fry it like some garlic and some ginger in a pan with some salt or maybe some soy sauce. You can get all that together, and then you can add some tahini to that. And then you make a sort of sauce, and then you steam the chard, and then you put that over it. But what I like to do is when I have a vegetable that has a big leaf like this, I like to stuff it. So I am making a stuffing with I've got some cut up onion here, and I have some pork because that was on sale, and then I'm going to use some Greek spices. I have a dog coming. I'm going to use some Greek spices, so I'm going to use a lot of oregano and a lot of basil, and I'll put how much down in the bottom, and then you're going to want to add salt, pepper, and it's just really yummy, and then you put that in, and then you taste. You're going to cook it up and then taste it, and garlic. And you would add more oregano for a Greek spice than you normally would for other ones. Then taste it before you stuff it. And then chard, it's one of those vegetables that cooks so quickly that you actually can stuff the leaves raw, and you can roll them up like Greek dolmas, like grape leaves. And then you can either dip them in something, or you can cook them in spaghetti sauce or whatever, and then that's fine. So I will show you when I get to a different stage of that. All right. Okay, so I wanted to show you something that you might not know, but maybe you do. I don't know. Okay, so when you're cutting, do you see when I'm cutting? Can you see how my board is like doing this thing? So if I take a cloth like this and I stick it under there, now I can do this, and really when you get it to this level, then you can put your hand here, because this part isn't sharp, and you can just do like this, and then that means, and also now you can hear it's not quite as loud, so you have like a better time. And if it's if whatever you're cooking has like strings or anything going through it, like lettuce or something, not that you chop it this way, but when you chop it, you want to do like a little slide with it. So you don't just want to go up and down, you want to do a little slide. Okay, so then usually you need your mom or somebody to tell you if you've chopped it, if you're going between chopped or minced or whatever, and that's when you need someone to come and say, that's not minced, that's chopped or whatever. So if you have somebody there, I guess if I was going to say the difference, minced is really, really, really small, almost like sand. I hope I've got this right. Chopped is a little bit bigger. So if you're in a recipe, it doesn't actually matter except for when the more you cut it, like the finer that you cut something, the more surface area it has, so the more of a flavor it has in the dish. But if you're cooking something like in a slow cooker, then you don't really want to do that. You want to get big, big clumps and usually put them in like that. So Anyway, I hope that helps. This is a little trick that I learned, the thing about putting the board under, and it's really nice. And it makes it feel like, you're not losing your board, and you can chop everything nicely. And you also want to add if you're doing things in a certain order, you want to start putting your onions in. So you put your onions, then you're going to put your meat, and then the last thing you want to put is going to be your garlic, because the garlic takes the least amount of time to cook. Or you can put it in like your biggest thing, sort of, because that's going to take longer. You're going to want to check your heat, make sure you're not burning it. That's it. I'll show you the next thing in a minute. Okay, so here's another thing about making things that are stuffed, is that you can sneak vegetables in there that have a lot of vitamins or whatever that you got in your veg box, or that there's too much of, without anybody knowing that you did it. So, like this one, which I won't say out loud because my kids are right over here. So I'm going to chop it, put it in there. The other thing is that the leaves of these, and this is celery, not celeriac. So the leaves, a lot of people don't know what to do with them, but actually the greener something is, or the darker in color it is, the more antioxidants it's going to have, especially if there are any red colors or anything. If you've got something with nice green leaves, then you really want to try to eat that, because that's going to give you all your vitamins, and you want to cook it as little as you can, but I guess in stuffing it is what it is. So what I do is I chop the leaves. I use these leaves for things like this, and then I also use them for things like soup, and the same with carrot tops and stuff. You can really get so many vitamins into yourself and into your kids by using the greenest part of the vegetable that you normally, or the reddest part that you would normally not do. You chop it fine enough and you put it in stuffing, it's just gone, and if you spice it enough, then you're getting all the vegetables and nobody knows. So, and you might not even know, especially if you have a good sauce for it. So just a tip. Okay, so I now have a stuffing that's made out of pork, and I've got some basil and oregano in there, and salt and pepper, a little bit of salt. Not much, because if you add what I'm going to add now, you can't really add any other salt. So I wasn't sure. I tasted it, and because it's low-fat pork, there's not a lot of fat in this, and it feels kind of dried. So you don't really want a dry feeling in your stuffing. So I'm going to add some feta cheese. I was going to add cheddar, but I think because it's Greek, feta cheese is probably the way to go. So I'm just going to break it off. I'm going to put it in there. And then I'm just going to mix it until it tastes fine. And then when I have it, then once the stuffing tastes fine to you, then you're fine. You're good. Then you can go ahead and stuff your either grape leaves or cabbage leaves or whatever. If I wasn't doing pasta, I would be putting rice in here probably for the kids, although I think that you could probably go fairly low carb with this if you wanted, and I'm not putting any rice in this, so just a thought. So when you get your stuffing just right, what I did was I used a half a block of feta. You'll taste it and you'll say, oh, I'm so happy. But actually, if you're Scottish, the answer would be, it's not rubbish. Okay, because that's like the top. So if you get to a place where it's not rubbish, if you're American, that would be, oh, I'm so happy. When you get to that level with it, then you know that whatever you wrap around is going to be great. And in this case, we're able to eat the chard raw, which means it's keeping like all its vegetables. So what I've done is I just took a regular raw chard leaf, and I took the stem off because the stem doesn't roll very well. And I put this stuff in there, and I rolled it up, and I ate it, and I'm just going to have another bite. So good. Oh. I don't even need a dipping sauce. It's so good. Alright, so here's how I did it. Are you laughing at me, little lady? If you're going to come around then, if you're going to come over.
Okay.
So I have this much. Can't really see that, can you? Hi, Pumpkin. Oh, wassail. You're okay. So here I am, got this much about, and I've got my leaf here. Have you had a good day, sweetie? Oh, you're a good girl. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take my stem off. And what I did before was I just stuck the stem inside here because it doesn't roll very well. But then what happens is after you first bite, and you pull this giant stem out. So if you don't want to do that, just take your stems off, and maybe even if you want to, you can chop them up in there. So I've got this in here. Now I'm rolling like this. I'm going to tuck these leaves under. And the ones at the Burghead Community Garden are much bigger than this. So I would still say, though, don't stuff more of it. I mean, don't, come here, Moo Moo. Do you want to come and try this? Do you want to have a little bite? It's so good. Try a bite. Here we go. No, don't hold it so they don't fall out. Just take a big bite. Good job. How is that, sweetheart? Yeah, it's really good. Right. So there you go. That is raw chard. She's getting all the vegetables for that. So great. So great. All right. I hope that helps. I should also say that we're having shimmy noodles. And here's why we have them. Because they are basically just, my mom used to make this, and it's just spaghetti. Then she would put butter, and then she would put poppy seeds, and sometimes I put some Parmesan cheese and some garlic, and I put it all together, and it's so good. And when I first had Maina, I was still thinking, oh, I'm so lucky because I have a daughter. I can teach her how to dance. So Maina had learned how to shimmy, but she did shimmies for like everything. So she also for a while did them when she was angry. But so what happened is that we tasted some of this, and it was so good that we had to have a shimmy. So if you taste, this is how it goes. So you have your shimmy noodles. Put them in your mouth. Have this reaction. And you have to shimmy. And here's the way you shimmy. You didn't know you were going to get a dance lesson. So you take your leg, you sit on one side of your hip and on the other, and then you sort of like, all I'm doing is I'm moving my knees back and forth. And if I go really, really fast, it makes everything shake. And it's better if you have like a little bit of fat there. So, shimmy noodles. So when you have the first bite, you have to have a big shimmy to show how happy you are that you're eating them. So that's it. And if you guys want me to make more videos about different sorts of vegetables, happy to do that. It's a pleasure to connect with you and also to be coming to you from lovely Olive-Pool. All right, bye. Okay, so that's the end of today's Christy's Accordion Cooking Show. And what I ended up doing in the end was I just took the little tiny chard leaves and I chopped them up and I put them in with the stuffing. And then I dumped it on top of the shimmy noodles and seasoned it to taste and added some more spice and added the rest of the block of feta. So good. So the kids have gotten raw chard and then they got cooked chard. So what I would do, and a lot of people when I spoke to them about this, they said they would treat chard the same way as spinach. So basically if you chop it up, you can put it in anything from omelets to whatever you want. So even spaghetti sauce. So now, at the very end, because I tried to record this a few times and I had some silly children, I've told them that they can be silly. So I have one here who would like to show you a picture that she copied. Okay, Tiny Moo. Wow, look at this picture. Tell me where you copied that from, sweetie. It's so pretty. A book. What is it, honey?
It's a picture.
What is that thing on the bottom, though?
What thing?
What's this thing? Is this a... Oh, is he riding a... What is this,
No, it's a rat. It's a rat butterfly.
A rat butterfly?
Yeah.
Crazy. Where's the part that's a rat part?
Its head.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's a robot rat butterfly.
A robot rat butterfly. I love that. That is so cool. Thank you, Tiny Moo. All right, good. Did you enjoy the shimmy noodles with the meat and stuff? Let's get your face out of the butter. Yeah? Okay, cool beans. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.